In this video, we'll be taking a look at 2 college basketball games happening on February 1st, 2024, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games, so 4 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 2 college basketball games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start, if you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. California versus Arizona. The Pac-12 betting action is set to commence on Thursday night amidst the arid landscapes, featuring a clash between the California Golden Bears and the number 11 Arizona Wildcats as they conclude their regular season rivalry in college basketball betting. Mark Madsen's squad heads to Tucson riding a 2-game winning streak, bringing their conference record to 4-5 both straight up and against the spread after prevailing against Washington State and Stanford in the previous week. Meanwhile, the Wildcats return home after splitting their Pacific Northwest road trip, securing a decisive victory over the Oregon Ducks and maintaining their top position in the conference standings. California faced adversity early in the season, managing to win only 4 of their initial 14 games. These victories came against St. Thomas MN, CSU Bakersfield, Santa Clara, and UC San Diego. Since then, the Golden Bears have displayed improvement, boasting a 4-2 record with notable wins over UCLA, Colorado, Washington State, and Stanford. In the recent Stanford matchup, California found themselves trailing by 4 points at halftime. However, a strong second-half performance, featuring a 37-31 run, led to a comeback win of 73-71. Jalen Tyson led the team with 14 points and 6 rebounds, while all 5 starters finished in double figures. On the other side, the Wildcats began the season with 8 consecutive victories, but have struggled to maintain a winning streak since. Nonetheless, Arizona has a 3-1 record in their last 4 games, including wins over USC, UCLA, and Oregon, with a lone loss to Oregon State. In their latest encounter against Oregon, the Wildcats secured an 87-78 win, with Caleb Love contributing 36 points, 3 rebounds, and 2 assists. The initial Pac-12 showdown between these teams took place on December 29th, where the Wildcats dominated the Golden Bears with a resounding 100-81 win and cover as 13.5-point road favorites. Arizona showcased their offensive prowess, shooting 59% from the field and earning 36 free throw attempts. They also dominated the rebounding battle 41-29. The rematch will likely see the Cats asserting dominance in the paint, given California's rankings of 260th in 2-point percentage defense and 169th in defensive 2-point rate. Despite improvements in defensive rebounding, the linemakers favor the home team with a spread of around 20 points, a valuation deemed high considering Cal's recent improved performance and Arizona's less than lockdown defense. Arizona rebounded with a victory against Oregon after a loss to Oregon State, and they now return home for this matchup. With an impressive scoring average of 89 points per game and a shooting percentage of 48.9%, the Wildcats have excelled, with their only conference losses occurring on the road. California, while not dominant in non-conference play, has held their ground in the Pac-12, currently on a 2-game winning streak. Despite shooting at 43%, they managed to score an average of 75.5 points per game. While Arizona won the first meeting by a considerable margin of 100-81, the prevailing sentiment suggests that Cal is currently playing their best basketball of the season, so the California Golden Bears to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. The over has hit in each of the last 5 matchups between these rivals, regardless of the venue, with an average of 158 points per game. In the previous 2 encounters in the desert, high-scoring affairs were witnessed. However, following the team surpassing the 157.5 over-under in the initial meeting, linemakers are expected to set an inflated number for the rematch, potentially reaching the low to mid-160 seconds. Despite Arizona ranking 11th in tempo rating on KenPom, indicating an average of 73 possessions per game, fatigue may come into play as they return home from a challenging 2-game road trip in Oregon. In contrast, California, with a slower pace ranking of 162nd, averaging just over over 68 possessions per game is likely to dictate a more deliberate tempo, with the total anticipated to be inflated and the potential for Arizona to coast late in the game. It is plausible for the combined score to fall below the projected total. Therefore, under the projected total stands is our full game total pick. Wisconsin versus Nebraska. The upcoming clash between the 13th-ranked Wisconsin Badgers and the Nebraska Cornhuskers promises to be a thrilling encounter scheduled for Thursday night. Wisconsin has displayed remarkable prowess this season, holding an impressive 16-4 overall record and an 8-1 standing in Big Ten play. In contrast, the Cornhuskers have had a solid season, standing at 15-5 overall and a 5-5 record in conference play as they aim for a return to the NCAA tournament. The Badgers commenced the season with a 7-3 record in their first 10 games, with losses only to Tennessee, Providence, and Arizona. Since then, Wisconsin has dominated with a 9-1 streak, securing victories over various opponents, including Nebraska, Ohio State, and Michigan State. In their recent triumph against Michigan State, the Badgers showcased their prowess, overcoming a halftime deficit to clinch an 81-66 victory, led by A.J. Storr's 28 points and Stephen Kroll's 15 points and 7 rebounds. On the other side of the court, the Cornhuskers faced setbacks in 2 of their initial 14 games against Creighton and Minnesota. However, they have encountered a tougher stretch lately, going 3-4 in their last 7 games, with losses to Wisconsin, Iowa, Rutgers, and Maryland, along with wins over Purdue, Northwestern, and Ohio State. In their recent matchup against Maryland, the Cornhuskers struggled, trailing 44-27 at halftime, and eventually succumbing to a 73-51 defeat, with C.J. Wilcher contributing 14 bench points and 1 assist. When it comes to home court advantage, Nebraska has excelled, boasting a 5-0 record in Big Ten play and an impressive 13-1 overall record at home this season. Conversely, Wisconsin has faced challenges on the road, losing 3 out of 4 games this season. Notably, the teams split their games last season, each winning on their home court, and Wisconsin claimed the first encounter this season. Considering these factors, the edge appears to be in favor of Nebraska. While Wisconsin holds a slight advantage in shooting statistics, Nebraska dominates in rebounding, averaging 39 rebounds per game compared to Wisconsin's 34. Additionally, Nebraska scores 2.5 more points per game. Despite Wisconsin's preference for creating mismatches, Nebraska counters with players like 6'7" guard Bryce Williams and the 6'10", 250-pound ringed mast in the paint. In their first meeting this season, these 2 players led the way for the Cornhuskers, indicating their ability to challenge Wisconsin. Nebraska enters this matchup tied for 5th in the Big Ten standings, with the added advantage of playing at home. Their 5-0 record in Big Ten play at home includes victories over formidable opponents such as MSU, Indiana, Purdue, Northwestern, and Ohio State. The Badgers, while having only 1 loss in conference play, face struggles on the road, emphasizing the challenge they may encounter in this game. The anticipation is high for an intense matchup in Lincoln, and despite the expected great atmosphere, the edge is given to Nebraska on their home court, as this game is predicted to be a closely contested battle, reflected in the even line, so the Nebraska Cornhuskers to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. The Big Ten is renowned for teams that adopt a deliberate, slow pace of play, a characteristic shared by both Nebraska and Wisconsin. Interestingly, the Cornhuskers operate at 68.4 possessions per 40 minutes, while Wisconsin is the 327th slowest at 64.9 possessions. Despite this deliberate pace, both teams have been trending towards the over, with Nebraska splitting 14-7 and Wisconsin standing at 11-9. Additionally, both squads have seen their games go over the total in their last 3 outings, dating back to March 2022. Furthermore, despite their slower tempo, Wisconsin ranks as the 4th most efficient offensive team in the NCAA, scoring 122 points per 100 possessions, while Nebraska holds the 30th position in efficiency. Nebraska's defense has allowed opponents to score at a rate of 103 points per 100 possessions, ranking 106th. Wisconsin's scoring totals have been on the rise, indicating their ability to dictate the pace, as witnessed in their first meeting with Nebraska where they scored 88 points on their home court, leading to the game going over the total. In recent matchups, Wisconsin has consistently scored over 80 points in 3 of their last 4 games. The first meeting between the Badgers and Cornhuskers resulted in the game going over the total. Anticipating the Cornhuskers to rely on the 3-point shot for success, and considering their status as the Big Ten's top 3-point scoring team, it is expected that they will attempt a similar number of 3-point field goals as in the first matchup. Despite the Cornhuskers' recent low-scoring game, over the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.